Hello and welcome back to Dreamscape again for another video. So this time we are back after the Euro trip with some A45s content. I know you've all been waiting on that coming back. So today is a small, I wouldn't call it a modification, I would call it a little fix for a small problem. So I'm pretty sure that any A-class owners, or any other cars for that matter, are going to share the same problem. Inside where the brake disc and the hub is, it gets a wee bit rusty. And I think on the big 19-inch AMG wheels, you can see right inside, it looks awful. So we're going to sort that today. I'm going to take you through it step by step. I'm going to show you the problem first, just to see if you agree with me, and you can let me know what you think of it in the comments. But we're going to sort that today. So we're going to take the car up to the flat spot at the top of the street. We're going to get the wheels off and we're going to get cracking. So remember, stop, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content, and let me know what you think of this process. Have I done it right? Have I done it wrong? I've done plenty of research and I think I'm doing it right. So enjoy today's video.
Underground, yeah, going underground.
Let's go. Let's have a close-up look. So when we get the wheels off the car, you'll be able to see better, but you can see it from here, look. So you see that there? How rusty that is? Tell me that isn't disgusting. That should not be like that. And it is the same all the way around. That is disgusting. I think we've put wheel spacers on this car, as you've seen. If you haven't seen that, go and watch the video, but we've put wheel spacers on, so it looks pretty bad. With the wheel spacers, it makes it that bit easier to see. So there's the other side, same. So we just need to get that sorted. So that's what today's process is going to be about. I'm sorry it's a bit windy. I'm going to try and speak as fast as I can so the wind isn't bad, right? So this is the paint I'm using. It's called Hammerite Direct to Rust Metal Paint Satin Black. So I've done quite a bit of research and this was the recommendation that I got. All the other tools that I'm going to use, standard stuff. Trolley jack, obviously a wheel, nut bar to get the wheels off, and I need to use the Mercedes centre cap tool, which you'll see throughout the video. I'm just going to show you the kind of sanding, kind of wire brush bits that I've got in my drill. So just a normal Makita, just a drill, and then as you can see, I've got a kind of range of wire brush things that will go in. So what I'm going to do with them is I'm obviously going to try and sand some of the old rust off. The paint is called Direct to Rust paint, but I want to try and clean it up as much as I can, and obviously we'll walk through that process in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the car up on the timber because it's too low now, I can't get the jack under it, and I'm going to get the first wheel off and let's get stuck in. Just getting the car up on top of the timber, so I'm always using these decking boards that I keep in the garage. Obviously the car's lowered now, so it just makes it a wee bit harder to get it up in the jack, but a couple of decking boards and you are sorted. So for anybody wondering what this long bit of wood is, basically the centre cap removal tool is much easier to use if you've got a bit of purchase on it. So basically just bolted it to this bit of wood just to make it easier. So I got this wheel removal bar from Halfords, and that little blue socket that's with it is actually lined with rubber, so it stops it damaging the wheels, which is class. I've got this really old trolley jack and the cup on it isn't great, so I just always have to be dead careful when I'm jacking the car up, make sure it's properly on the jacking point underneath, but it does bite in. I just need to always be watching what I'm doing. Don't want any horror stories. Right, let's get a close look, right? So you can see what I mean, look at that. So whether that's all brake dust or whatever as well, but it just doesn't look great, and we want that bit nice and tidy and black. So let's give it a go, roughing it up with the drill and the kind of wire wool bits, and then we'll give it a go painting it. So these wee kind of wire brush kind of heads on the drill were really effective. Obviously you can see that brake dust flying off. I think in hindsight I should probably have been wearing a mask, but at the end of the day it's done now. It managed to get in as much as it possibly could. I think something that a bit smaller and a bit sharper in hindsight would probably have been better, but this definitely done enough of the job anyway. So you can see I changed to this more kind of flat, sharper head, but it got a bit more of the surface that I was wanting to, but again, equally as awkward, and actually it just spat more stuff at my face, which wasn't ideal, but it did cover a bit more of the kind of flat surface that you can see there on the edge of the hub, so that was pretty handy. So if you're going to do this, and you're going to paint it with any type of paint or whatever type of thing you're going to do, if you're having to sand, brake dust and kind of rust off of these areas, definitely have an assortment of different size kind of wire wheel attachments for your drill. I found that using a couple of different ones allowed me to get into obviously the different bits. You can see it's starting to get a bit worn there, it's covered in brake dust, but it done as good a job as I was expecting really. Okay, getting into paint now, so you can see just from the brush how thick this is now. I decided on this brush size because I thought it would fit in this groove, and it did perfectly. However, the bristles of the brush that started to get a bit frayed started to put paint on the edge of the brake disc and slightly onto the brake disc at times. So I would probably do this again with a smaller brush where I can build it up slowly and smaller. Now this paint, I didn't realise this, but it starts to go kind of like rubbery and thick, so I kind of had to wipe it off the brake disc as quick as I could, obviously knowing that the brake pad, and when I do some braking the next time I drive, the paint's going to come off. I've done some research about that as well, and there really isn't any issues with getting a wee bit of paint on your brake disc that I'm aware of. I was struggling to get the paintbrush in next to the caliper here, so you'll see in the next bit of the video I ended up having to put the wheel back on, and I ended up having to lower it down off the jack and move the car to get it turned round, which was a bit of a nightmare. I realised that because the car's in park, obviously the wheels aren't going to turn when it's up in the air, so I had to put the wheel back on and just drive the car a bit so that I can get into there. So, bit of a nightmare, but we're getting there. So some people might say that I'm a bit stupid for taking it all the way back off the jack, putting the wheel on and all that to rotate it enough on the ground by driving it to get to the bit that I couldn't get to. But I really was not up for taking this car out of park when it was on a jack. I was just having these terrible images in my head of the car rolling forward a bit or something and it getting folded up inside the side skirt. So I just done it the safest way possible. Right, there's that wee bit that I couldn't get there. It looks a bit ugly now because the wheel's off. Just need to try and get as little on the brake disc as you can, but the brake pads will sort that out when I first brake. But yeah, looking much better, so we'll get the wheel back on and check it out. So always put the wheel back on using a torque wrench. This one is set to 125 Newton meters, which is recommended by Mercedes. So I'm just going round them all and tightening them up, getting them to 125, and then that's me just going round, check, 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 and always just make sure that they are bang on. Right, we're just going to get ready to do the back whilst this is drying, but just from a distance, like when you're walking up to the car, it looks so much better already. It might not be like a pure workshop job or anything, but if it cures this disgusting issue in the short term, then I'm happy. Right, just get called in for a quick dinner there, but I'm just going to head back out and do the back wheel. Okay, so this side is the back, sorry. This is much more open, there's plenty more room in here. At the front it was quite deep, so I could hardly get the sanding thing in. But I think this time it'll be a lot easier because the disc's a lot smaller, so let's get cracking. So that's taken away all of that rust there, looks pretty good. The only concern that I've got is you can still see a bit of this when the wheel's on, but I'm not sure about painting that, and then the paint sets and it creates a wobble in my wheel. Somebody want to tell me if that's going to be a problem, because if that's not an issue I'll take the wheels back off and I'll paint that bit as well, but I'm reluctant to do that right now, so I'm looking for some help in the comments. I'm not going to bore you with both sides of the car because, well, they're exactly the same. So I'm going to spin around the other side, do the other side, then we'll take the car back into the driveway and we'll have a look. I'm honestly not sure how this is going to turn out once the paint sets, but I guess we'll just need to see. Right, the sun is setting here and that is me finished. So I'm going to keep the sun behind the lens because I know it's a pain when it goes in the lens, and let's go down and have a look at the finished article. This is the first time I've done this, remember, I'm not 100% certain what I was doing. I did watch some YouTube videos, but if anything was to take that nasty rust away, then I think we've succeeded, and I think it looks much better. I'm sorry the car's so dirty. Much better. If you come in from a distance, because that's where I always notice, right? And you just see it's just a wee bit nice, darkened down, no rust. So the bit I was talking about is that I can still see the front of the hub there, but I'm a bit apprehensive about painting that because I don't want any balance issues. But that's not really what was bothering me. What was bothering me was the rust. So this is still setting a wee bit, but I've just driven the car from up the street. But aye, that looks much better. So guess I'm pretty happy with the results of that then. So I'll live with it over the next few days, and I'll see how I feel. And if anybody's got any feedback about painting the kind of face of the hub, if you're allowed to do that, can I do that without causing any alignment issues or any kind of wheel wobbles, then please let me know in the comments. As I said, this is the first time I've been doing this, so I hope that wee tutorial was helpful. It does look much better. We're all just on this journey together trying to improve the look of our cars. So if you liked that, hit like, hit subscribe, drop me a comment, give me some tips for the future. Is there anything else that I should do to solve this problem? And let's see if that paint stays on. I'm hoping it does. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.